Well, as an airline employee, we would show up and we might have 3 flights to work in an 8 or 9 hour shift. So the idea is you'd show up, work a flight, you'd have 2 or 3 hours before your next departure. So for airline workers, it was a cushy job. You'd show up, work a few hours a day and go home. But these days, it's quite a bit different with all the increased flight activity, but it is something we enjoy doing. Well, keep in mind that we weren't supposed to get the dogs out of the cages, but if you'd see this little puppy in the cage and was there for a couple hours, we'd water them. Sometimes we'd get them out and pet them, and then that little docile dog would take off across the ramp, and passengers would see 4 or 5 ramp vehicles trying to chase this dog down. 30 years ago, it was nothing to be on a flight from your origin to destination that would stop 9 times. It was kind of the Visit USA trip. Terminal 1 was great. Passengers loved it because they'd show up and the security line was about as long as the Kroger Express checkout. You'd have 1 or 2 people, you'd be on the flight. It was just US Airways and Republic. That was it. Passengers showed up, they were able to get through security, they had plenty of room on board the flight. It was a pleasure to travel. People dressed up, it was an event, they'd get to the airport and have a good time. So when we talk about the golden age of travel, that was it.
And in 1982, I returned to Cincinnati, and I came back, and it was February of 1982, and Comair's corporate offices were actually on the 2nd floor of Terminal 1, right across the hall from the Weather Service. The National Weather Bureau was on one side of the hall, and we were on the other. My office was actually a door top stacked on concrete blocks. The company at that point in 1982 was barely 5 years old, had just gone public the previous year in 1981. But we were very frugal and in order to succeed. And so the offices were simple and useful. We got the job done.